Hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo.
Lord, man.
Hey, everyone. Can you please tell us, can you hear us? Can you see us? You hear us? Can you see us? Hey, please, while you're joining, tell us in the chat. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, thanks a lot, Hassan. Thanks a lot, Roman. Thanks a lot, Carlo. Um, Awesome, awesome, awesome. By the way, we gotta wait for a few more minutes just while everyone is joining the link, etc. Please tell us, hey, from your location. So, hi, where are you based right now? Just say hi from Berlin, hi from London, hi from Tokyo, hi from New York, hi from New York City. Just hey, Andrew from Leicester, UK, Malaga, Spain. Oh my God, Kiev, Chicago, San Francisco, from Ukraine, from Serbia, from Toronto, Canada. Oh my God, they're like I love really the fact that so many people from different parts of the world are joining and spending all together time with us to figure out how to solve their problems with durability. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. What about you, Vlad?
I think yeah, it's probably one of the most interesting topics for me. Super excited to be here today. Really cool topic. Always wanted to like deep dive into it. So yeah, super happy to be here with everyone. Sounds like cool topic for everyone. Hello everyone. Hi. So yeah, so cool to see
I
people all around the world: Canada, India, US,
yeah.
Ukraine, Armenia. Hello
Um,
everyone.
we're gonna start just in 1 or 2 minutes while everyone is joining. And the thing is that we have so much information to share with you. We have so much content to share with you. So we're gonna try to. Our time is limited, so let's try to be quick and sharp. But again, if you have any questions, you can always ask in the Q&A section, so we can go through that. I will try to cover every single question. We'll try to cover every single topic that comes to and that touches the email durability. But not quite sure that we can do this during the next hour. So let's probably start step by like just quick.
Yep. Boom. Here we go.
So please tell us in the chat right now whether you can see the screen, whether you can see the deck. Just yes or no. Yes, 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 yes. Yes. Okay. Awesome. 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 So here it's Vlad, it's Ilya, and today we're gonna talk about cold email deliverability. And you know what? Cold email deliverability is the main thing, is the key in the whole cold email in the whole cold email world. So please, just in the next slide. The thing is that um, it doesn't matter, like really, it does not matter how many contacts you reach out to. You can think that, yeah, the volume matters, but in reality, it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many and how personalized your cold emails are, no matter whether it's with Clay, with AI, with GPT, whatever. And it doesn't matter how well you integrated the whole system, the whole cold email outreach tool with your CRM. If your emails go to spam, it all makes no sense. Like really, imagine you spend and investing so much time into personalization, to finding contacts, into preparing follow-ups, into preparing proofreading them, copywriting, etc., etc. And it all makes no sense because your emails are going to spam, right? So why is that? Because nobody replies from the spam folder. Like it's true. No matter whether your email is extremely relevant or personalized, or you really invested so much time into actually finding the icebreaker, the hooks, etc., etc., it makes no sense. Nobody is actually replying from spam. There are two reasons for that, and you know that. The first one, people are not really checking the spam folder, and the second one, even if they check spam folder, they still already have like by default they still have like they already have a bad attitude to your cold email. They just don't trust you because your email went to spam. So today, it's Vlad from Reply.io and myself, Ilya from Growth Band. And today we're gonna talk about the cold email durability. And the most interesting thing is that Vlad and the Reply team has prepared an amazing research. They analyzed like millions, like 50 plus millions of cold emails that were sent during the last like year or so, and figured out what are the main insights about cold email durability. But before we start, please tell us in the chat or in the poll, like you can see this poll right now, like who are you? Please tell us your role. Like, are you a
Yes.
founder, SDR, BDR, salesperson, marketer, growth, sales leader, or something else? Please just tell us. Of course, the whole content is already prepared, but that will help us a lot with understanding the.
Yeah, I was
Uh,
like always curious who's responsible for this deliverability? Who's like is like trying to fix this issue? Like what's the main role behind all this stuff? So it's like interesting to know who's responsible for improving their deliverability, decrease spam and so on. So yeah.
so while you're saying, like, while you're answering all of those polls, please let's move to the next topic. Um, and
All right. Yeah, and why it matters. Why it matters. So first of all, we all know that like there are bad people there and good people there, and so we all want to be on the bright side. But again, there are lots of bad people out there, and when it comes to cold outreach, there are like millions of spammers worldwide. And what we can see here is like a global chart showing us what's a global spam volume as of total percent of email traffic in the past 10 years. And as you can see here, it was like huge in 2011 and it's going down a little bit. So why it matters? Because these tech giants, tech companies, huge companies, they are like spending more and more resources to fix this issue. For example, a few years ago, like 5 years ago, Google introduced all these different like folders, spam, inbox, primary inbox, updates, you name it, right? So all these folders. And now they've taken even more efforts to fix this issue of spam. Um, so yeah.
but in reality, this is not a bad thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Why? Because spammers gonna spam, and Google is fighting against them. And that means that 5 or 10 years ago, there were so many spammers that it was easy to spam. You could send like thousands of emails from one mailbox, and at the end of the day, your target audience was overwhelmed with the cold emails and the spammy emails in their inboxes, right? But now, like whenever Google is fighting against spam, you, by doing the right things when it comes to the cold email vulnerability, you can actually reach your target audience and be on their radar. And all the rest of the spammers who just spammed back in the days, they gotta go to spam right away, and that's basically it. So this is a good thing actually, and there is a new thing like Google update. You probably already saw that. So many things. But have you like I see that you already saw there are a few screenshots here.
So yeah, it's actually screenshots in my own inbox. So we took all these screenshots, and as you can see here, Google, like in and other providers, are implementing more and more warnings for users to be safe. It's like for everything, like your attachments, your why? Because spammers sometimes even send like invitations in your Google Calendar, like just with no reason. Well, they do have reasons, but so Google like showing all these like banners across all their products, like that spammers and like can potentially abuse. So bunch of those things, and yeah, and Google recently rolled out a way brand new update, and it directly impacts cold outreach itself, open tracking, right? So here's what we will cover. Yeah.
Yes. So today we're gonna cover the recent changes in cold email durability, and one of them is basically about the email the Google killed open tracking. The second one we're gonna talk about the cold email durability best practices, and the most interesting thing is gonna be backed by data because our reply team has analyzed 50 million plus emails and figured out the right insights about the like what to do and what not to do, what is the right way to do something, what is not right to do something, and so on and so forth. I still like I do see some questions in the chat. Like I still have open tracking working just fine. Can we have the recording later? Yes. Yes, you do have the recording later, but when it comes to the open tracking, yes, we're gonna answer about this just in a few minutes. And the most interesting thing is we already have way more things to share with you. It's including the bonus content and the gift for you at the end of this presentation. So please stay with us during the next 60 minutes and get access to the. We want to reward everyone who's with us on this live. They're spending together time. So we're gonna reward you all. And yes, we're gonna share with you all the recordings, all the templates, resources, links, slides, with whatever. Like, please, after this webinar, you're gonna get the email with all the emails, etc., with all the resources. And the thing is that if you did not get this, or if you have some issues with getting something, you can always reach out to us directly. Here is my LinkedIn profile. Please, let's connect. And here is Vlad's LinkedIn account. Please, let's connect. Just tell us, hey, hello from the webinar, etc., and so on and so forth. So let's connect all together and let's move to the next thing. So you probably already saw that Google killed open tracking, right? So, but like, you already saw so many warnings, notifications, etc., on the social media about them. Google killing open tracking. So let's figure out what this exactly means. So let's do the step back. In order to check whether someone opened your emails or not, usually all the tools, no matter whether this is the email marketing, cold emailing, or just email tracking solutions in your Gmail, they all include a small pixel. Usually this is from like 1 or 0.00 image. It's super small, it's invisible. This pixel triggers when someone opens the email. That is why and this thing is that this pixel is invisible. So if you're a user and you're using Gmail or whatever, you open the email and you never see that. But within the code, you can definitely find this pixel. So if you can go to your Gmail account, whatever, like go to show original just to see the code version of the email, and if you click show original, you can always, or not always, but usually you can find all the pixels that were inserted in that email. So you usually can figure out who is using what solution and whatever, like, because you see this email was with Mailtrack, tracked by Mailtrack. So the thing is that right now Google tried to warn a lot of people that there is an image. So you see what I mean? Like, even if technically there is an image, but Google never really cared about that. And now Google tried to push this notification that, hey, right now there is an image there. Even though if you cannot see that, if it's invisible, still there is an image. And now you can click show the image. In this case, the open tracking will be triggered. But the second thing, they have, like everyone, like not everyone, but a lot of people right now have one more button, report spam. So in this case, Google just killed open tracking. Not that doesn't mean that you cannot track emails at all in general, like it's just this functionality is not working anymore. But what that means is that right now it's way better not to track cold emails openings rather than track it. Because whenever you track openings, Google will show some notifications with the call to action to report as a spam. So your spam rate will go up, and this is a really bad thing. And okay, because of these new updates, it's really, really bad. And here are the things that you actually need to do. Vlad, I know that you prepared this slide. Can you please go quickly through the things that people
Sure,
need?
sure, sure. Awesome. So yeah, first of all, when you use your cold outreach tool or sales engagement platform, first of all, what you need to do, like just turn off your open tracking as soon as possible. Why? Because I just tried all my own sequences for a few days, turned on with this feed with open tracking, and I could really notice like this difference between opens before Google update like a week ago and in the next 2 days. So it's does affect your deliverability actually right away. So turn off your open tracking, remove images from your emails. Here's why. You can test it on your own because we did it here internal at Reply. Just send your email to your like cold email to your friends from another company and have image there. And you will notice that this banner appears even if you have just a regular image in your email. So make sure to remove images from your cold emails or double check this. If you still want to track some metrics, some engagement, you can enable link tracking because there is no pixel there. But again, links could harm your deliverability in some cases. And then what you can do here, you can switch to plain text mode only. It's like a brand new feature at Reply. So what it does, it removes all HTML from your email. So it's going to be just plain text email, meaning your deliverability will ramp, will just increase. You can improve your deliverability. Then as engagement metric, focus on reply rates. It should be something like between 3% plus open rate, or sorry, reply rate. And then you can try multi-channel sequences for your best leads. So if your email, like, I don't know, goes into spam, you still can reach out to them via LinkedIn, phone calls, and so on. So we'll leave a link for you. So after the presentation, we will send everything to you. You can check this update in more detail.
Yes, thanks a lot. And the most interesting thing is that when it comes to the open tracking, it was always not the best and the most accurate metric. Um, Tracking pixel is not like 100. It just doesn't show you 100% accuracy when it comes to who opened your emails and who did not. And this is true, like really. And the thing is that even if your open rate goes like up or down a little bit, it's just usually never about your subject line or the context of your email, etc., etc. The most interesting thing and why it's really, really bad about open tracking, about Google killing open tracking, is the fact that back in the days, like a week ago and earlier, you could see the dynamic of your email deliverability. So in reality, whenever your cold emails open rate, it was usually 60, 65%. Now you see that it's going down to 40%. This is a huge signal for you to go and check out your deliverability issues and problems. So that means that back in the days, you could fix the problems while you get those problems. Right. The small problems you have, the big like the easier it is to solve them. So you never see that it goes down from 65 to 60% open rate, or from 65 to like 45%. Okay, this is the moment for you to go check out all the settings, double check it, do some email deliverability monitor, etc., etc. This is how it works right now. Like it worked always like that. Now you cannot rely on the ideal moment when when you catch that your durability went down, because you don't have the open tracking. You cannot see how many, like you cannot find that specific sweet moment when you need to actually go and fix, because you don't have this signal, right? So I do see that a lot of people, by the way, asking questions in the chat. And please, one more thing, add all of your questions to the Q&A section. Just click Q&A and ask your questions so we can go through all of them. And so first, so yeah.
Like a bunch of questions. Yeah, I guess use Q&A, so we will try to answer all of them. But there are really, really good questions actually. So I'm more than happy to answer them, because for some of them, we have answers next down the road in the next slides. So yeah. So you want to proceed with this slide, Ilya?
Yes, and the thing is that it didn't start today. Based on the replies research, the durability of the emails always was higher when the open tracking was disabled. And now, like, Google always tried to fight with the images and some, weird HTML or images within the emails, etc., etc. But it was not always open fighting. So it was not the open war against the open tracking back in the days. It was the silent mode when you saw that, okay, yes, probably the open tracking actually affects the deliverability. But now we do see that Google showed it and in public that, okay, they are killing open tracking, and they right now fighting against spammers even more. So yes, we knew that it's going to happen in terms of, yes, it was working like this back in the days. And the most interesting thing is that I do really want to appreciate the whole Reply team about the amount of job that they did and that they made. The thing is that they analyzed, how many 60 millions of cold emails from different perspectives and the ability of those emails to figure out what are the best, insights, what are the best use cases and approaches. Vlad, just say a few more words about your approach to analyzing data.
So yeah, we spent like actually we were preparing this huge guide. Well, we share it today with you. We're preparing a huge guide on email deliverability even before these Google changes. So we were preparing this for like 3 weeks, and we started like digging into data to learn even more. But then, boom, Google just released this update, and now we have even more reasons to share this data with you. So because it's getting more harder. So yeah, we analyzed almost 60 million plus cold emails for this research sent to reply in the past like 8 months or so. Just spent, I guess, wow, two weeks analyzing all these data, slicing, just checking all these different use cases. So I guess it's quite accurate. And again, just warning before moving on, if you have better results than these average results we will share today, that's awesome. If not, then you have some room for improvement. And again, data, it's all about average results and like showing what you can improve then and just make your cold outreach a little bit better. So that's just a disclaimer before we're moving on forward.
And before we go to the next slide, please tell us in the chat, are you excited to see the results of such a research? Just tell us yes or no, just Y or N. Yes, are you like, yes, I'm excited, or no, I'm not excited, etc., etc. So I see yes, 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 I see that. Okay, 40% of yes, 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 yes. Of course, yes, 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 100%. So yes, no. Okay, one person said no. In this case, we are not going to share. I guess that's we
And
have to finish the webinar. No, I'm just joking. We're gonna share with all of you. Yeah, yeah, with all of you, all of these insights.
he is kidding. He is kidding. Okay, so no harm feelings. No hard feelings.
Yeah, and while we are talking about the next slides, please tell us with the poll, do you have any email deliverability issues right now? So if yes, just say yes. No issues, etc., etc. That will help us a lot to figure out, okay, what is going on with your specific case, okay? And while you're answering all of that, let's go to the next slide. So today we're going to share with you the full cold email vulnerability guide on how to do the things in the correct way, in the right way, backed by the data that that Vlad just shared, and their whole reply team was doing a great research around that.
So yeah, stay tuned. We will share like really huge research on deliverability. It's actually a step-by-step guide. We wrote it with our team, deliverability team here at Reply, spent yeah, countless hours to create it. And plus we backed it by data. So hope you will enjoy it as well. Today, so basically on this webinar, we're sharing just the tip of an iceberg. And there you will find way more data, way more charts, and more insights, benchmarks, useful tools, like everything you need for deliverability.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
So domains. Let's start with domains.
Okay, so
yes, Vlad.
that's my part. Awesome. So first things first, your cold outreach starts with domain. So basically it's a brand new, like pretty relatively new stuff in cold outreach. So again, all these changes affect how we do cold outreach, how we prospect our leads. Actually, so first of all, start with new domains. So first of all, if you rely on high volume cold outreach, if you send, I guess, more than 500 cold emails per day, you will definitely need a brand new cold domain for your cold outreach. So first of all, do not use your current domains for high volume cold outreach. Why? Because you can hurt your reputation, because every domain has a reputation. It's going to be like neutral, bad, or positive one. So that's how you can prevent from being marked as a spammer in the future. You can use subdomains, but again, for cold outreach, subdomains aren't the perfect solution. It could be used for like email marketing, some automation emails, marketing automation for your product, so on. So for cold outreach, you need to start with secondary domains for your cold outreach. So here's why, because even if you fail in terms of your cold outreach, even if you destroy your reputation in your domain, you will not hurt your main domain, and you can just iterate, creating new ones, and just still rely on outbound as your growth channel. So we will share even more insights on this in our webinar, on our guide, so stay tuned. So what it means starts with cold domain. So for example, our main domain is reply.io. And then what we can do here, we can purchase a bunch of secondary domains for our outbound sales. It was the best part. You can just create a new inboxes for these domains. We'll talk about this, and then you can connect all these emails to your reply account. So for example, here at reply, here's a list of my own cold outreach domains, bunch of them, not all of them here. And you can just use your brand and then a few more like suffixes and prefixes to change the domain. And then you will have way more variations of for your secondary domains. And everyone who knows about your brand, they still can recognize it, right? And then when it comes to domains, a huge part of it is your top level domain, everything meaning after dot, for example, .io, .com. So we analyzed average open rates by domains, and we categorize them into good domains, great domains, and bad domains. So when it comes to great domains, we've noticed that like country-based domains like .uk, .france, .co.uk, so all these like localized top-level domains are like perfect for cold outreach. Meaning, if you have a local business, for example, CEO agency in France or software development company in Canada, so just use these high-level localized domains. There are a bunch of them, so you can analyze the chart after that. Then we have good domains. So these are the best ones, and they are like battle tested. So these are the most common ones like .com, .app, .co, .io, .ai. So all of these domains are really solid ones for your cold outreach. And when it comes to bad domains, you should like avoid them at all costs. For example, like news, email, live, legal, pro, bees, group, and so on. So all of these domains, like on average, generate less opens. So having a more expensive domain, like instantly better deliverability. So here's a list of best practices. When selecting domains, consider the reputation of different top-level domains. Stick to more expensive ones like .com, .co, .io, .ai. Country-specific domains on average help generate higher open and reply rates. Some of them like are still okay, like .net, .info, but again, it depends, and avoid cheaper domains at all costs, like Click, VIP, Legal, Website Club, because historically they are already related and associated with spammers at scale. So yeah, you're muted.
And the most interesting thing when it comes to the domains is that you can tell us, hey, Ilya, or hey, Vlad, yeah, but can I create the new domain and just start doing the whole cold email outreach right away? Or like, what should I do exactly? So the thing is that usually, of course, the older domain you have, the better. Of course, if you didn't have any deliverability issues or spam problems with that domain, of course. But let's imagine that you do have the domain that you just created, like under 1 month or just from 1 month to 3 months, etc., etc. In this case, usually the ability will be pretty much the same, pretty much okay comparing to a bit older domains, so up to a year, etc., etc. So the thing is that even if you don't have really old and trusted domains that you created 10 or 15 years ago, it's all fine, no problems. You can create your domains right away and start doing the warm up, the setup, and do the whole cold email outreach campaigns. So that's basically a small cover of this domain question. Let's move to the next
Yeah, but I
thing.
will just only add one question, just one sentence here. For new domains, I will definitely recommend just to wait 2-4 weeks before starting your initial cold outreach, maybe 2-3 weeks. And the best part, what you can invest in, you can just always have 2-3 domains in your arsenal in advance. Just purchase them and don't like do nothing. And when your cold outreach domain is burned, you can just connect a new one and just keep your cold outreach working. So that's my 2 pieces of advice here.
Yeah. And in reality, what we also need to understand is that when it comes to the cold email outreach mathematics, it always starts with the volume that you can reach with in the most safest way. So usually from each, like we're gonna talk about this, but usually one email box cannot reach out to like millions of people, like really. You cannot really spam a lot of people by using one mailbox. So what is the best case? The best case is you create several domains, and then based on those several domains, you create several mailboxes per each domain. And as a result, you can reach the nice and the good amount of volume, the nice volume of sending emails. So let's move to the next slide. Inbox setup. So you created them domains, you know how to, like you chose them, all good with that, no questions. Then you actually need to create the mailboxes. There are a few rules. They're pretty simple, but let me cover them in really quickly. The first one, never use free Gmail or Outlook email accounts. Never. Like ilya@gmail.com. This is no, big no. Like never do this, okay? It's not only about the email durability, but overall, you're never going to get any great results, even though it feels like for you, okay, it's probably cheaper because it's actually free, but it's not cheap because you're going to invest your own time and get no results out of that. So the second thing, never use any other paid email providers except Google and Microsoft. So if you have the feeling that, oh, probably I'm gonna use Zoho Mail or something else, like yes, they like this is a nice thing, etc., etc. No, it's not. Like never do this. Just always focus on Google and Microsoft. And when it comes to the Google Microsoft, you can always go with the Google Workspace and the Outlook, like Office 365. So the thing is that in general, and we're going to talk about this, there are several types of email, like of how cold email outreach tool can send your emails. And we're going to talk about this just a bit later. It's either SMTP/IMAP or API. And there is and we're going to talk about this just a bit later. But let's imagine that you're using default things, you're using SFTP, IMAP, etc., etc. Like you probably don't know what I'm talking about right now, but let's say the default settings are the best case scenario is whenever you have the Microsoft accounts and you send from Microsoft accounts to other Microsoft accounts. So for example, in your pool of 1,000 contacts, imagine like you have 1,000 contacts to reach out to, 200 of them have and operate with Microsoft Office 365, and other 800 have the just tell me the Google. Yes.
G Suite, right?
Yeah, this week. So the thing is that the best case scenario is that if you have 20 email accounts, for example, 3 of them are on Microsoft and 17 of them are on Google, it would be the best case scenario is when you send from the Microsoft to Microsoft accounts and from Google accounts to Google accounts. And the reason for that is pretty obvious because whenever Google gets the email from another Google account, they usually know way more information about yourself. And the same happens with Microsoft. But whenever Google or Microsoft gets the email from someone from other email providers, they don't know. They don't know about the API or they don't know about the IP, etc., etc. It might cause some problems and some issues. So imagine if you have like at least 10% of your contacts that who you want to reach out to who are using Microsoft, please use Microsoft or whatever. So how to figure out what should be the right balance between the Google accounts and Microsoft accounts, right? To create. Imagine you want to create 10 domains, right? That's easy as it is. And for each domain, for each of those 10 domains, you can create 3 mailboxes. So in total, you can create 30 mailboxes. So what is the balance between them? The first thing that you do is you go and find like 1,000 people you want to reach out to right now. 1,000 people that are right now in your campaigns. Just download all their domains. It's pretty easy as it is in the CSV file, and then upload it to the Amex toolbox bulk email provider search. And then in just a matter of a few minutes, it will show you who of those people actually use Microsoft and who of those people are actually using Google. Then you can download it in the Google Sheet, and then it's pretty easy. You just, like in a matter of just a few minutes, you see how many out of 1,000 people are using Google and and the rest are using Microsoft. So usually in our specific case, we have 60 to 65%, like two-thirds of the emails of our own clients and potential clients are usually on Google, and the rest are usually on Microsoft. So the thing is that you need to do that, create them, and then set up in the same balance. So if it's one-third, it means like if you have 10 domains, 3 mailboxes to each domain, that means like 10 mailboxes are going to be on Microsoft and the rest 20 mailboxes are going to be on Google. That's how it works for us. So then technical setup, of course, you all know about SPF, DKIM, DMARC, MX record, and so on and so forth. We don't really want to spend too much time on this topic because we have so many instructions about how to stop it here, how to stop it there, how to monitor your DMARC record, etc., etc. So you can check it out directly within reply. So whenever you add your own mailbox, a reply will show you, do you have any problems with SPF or DKIM, etc., etc. But even if you want to just a general instruction, we do have all of this content, so no worries about that.
Yeah.
Because right.
Yeah. So our deliverability team wrote like a huge guide, like for regular users and more technical ones. So there are like literally 2 guides on this technical setup. So we will send the instruction.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is that it would be so whenever you create the mailboxes, you created the domains, the mailboxes. Of course, whenever you set up campaigns, you need to match providers. That is the feature by reply. By the way, I just forgot to say about that. But then before sending cold emails, like before doing anything, please warm up your email boxes and your email accounts. And the thing is that what is warm up? Usually, this is the process when you send emails to other mailboxes and they automatically engage with your emails by saying that it's not a spam, by clicking the links, by opening them and the emails, and by replying to those emails. So you have, yes, fake but still conversations. What is the reason of that? Basically, if you start your whole journey with cold emailing by setting up domains, setting up mailboxes, and start spamming from day zero, you start spamming, then you're doing exactly the same thing as other spammers are doing, right? So that means that for Google, you're sending like 100 emails or 20 emails per day. Nobody is replying to you. Probably you're a spammer. This is a just brand new email account. This is just brand new domain, and nobody's replying to you. Probably you're a spammer, right? So when it comes to warm up, you usually show to Google that you are not a bad person. Like you're not a bad boy. You're a good boy. All good. So you're sending emails, people are engaged with those emails, probably you're relevant to them, they're relevant to you, etc., etc. So you are becoming an active, healthy Google or Microsoft user. So all good, please don't think I'm a spammer. That is why you always have to start with the warm up, and there are several strategies on how to warm up your email accounts depending on your spam rate, how old your domain is, etc., etc. And if you want to get all of those warm-up strategies, please let us know in the chat. We're gonna send you the link to the full guide with the warm-up strategies as well. Yes.
So yeah, I think Ilya has a really awesome guide on warm-up, so that's going to be also useful. By the way, we are also working on more advanced like data backlink sites on warm-up as well, because it's going to take some time for us. But I think in a few months we will have like also something for analyzing warm-ups versus non-warm-ups. But again, like in terms of like logic, warm-up definitely will help you with better deliverability. Again, I already explained why. So now we have like technical setup, we have domain, we have inboxes, we have a warm-up email inboxes. Now it's like our next move. Next move, Ilya.
Yes. So the thing is that, do you remember I told you that there are actually two types of connecting your email accounts, right? Of sending your emails. So the very first one is when you connect through IMAP or SMTP. So usually you have to go to your own Google settings and say that this specific email account or this specific email tool can get access to sending and managing your emails, right? So you go and you change that. This is why IMAP or SMTP, this is how it's working actually. And the second approach is using the Google's API. Yes, it probably might sound a little bit technical or a little bit too technical, but basically, tools like Reply and others are actually getting access to the API, to the Google's API, to be able to send and manage emails that are happening from your mailboxes. And the thing is that in order to get access to IMAP SMTP way, you as an email provider solution don't need to do anything. You just try to connect to this settings, and you just grant permissions, and boom, that is it. And when it comes to the access to the API, Google doesn't give it to literally everyone, because the email sphere and the email niche is pretty sensitive niche. Google goes through the audit. Google go and check your settings. Google is doing a huge amount of job to figure out how you're gonna use this API, like how well your data is protected, and so on and so forth. So they usually do this on a yearly basis, again and again, this audit, to give you access to the API. And of course, when in one case you don't have anything, you don't need to do anything extra. And in another one, you actually need to go and work with Google to figure out how it's working, like to show all the ways that you are working with Google's API, that how you're gonna do this, etc., etc. Of course, by default, I always thought that it's way better to use Google's API for sending emails in terms of deliverability, because it's logical. Like Google has way more trust in the tools for using API and not just SMTP or IMAP, right? And I always thought that the difference always should be a little bit higher, but not that much. Can you please click to the next slide?
And the next slide is like gonna be a revelation for lots of people out there.
In reality, the difference is extremely huge. So whenever you send emails, cold emails through SMTP or IMAP, your chances to go spam are way higher, or like your deliverability is going to be under a huge attack compared to the case when you send your emails and your cold emails through the API. And the difference is not just in 1% or 2%. The difference is almost 1.5. Like it's so like the almost the 1.5. That's the difference. I mean, like 30%.
Like 30%, yeah.
Yeah,
On
30.
average, it's 30.
Yeah, that's so huge, like really. And that means that if you have an option right now to switch from SMTP or a map and switch to API, please do that switch right now. Here is how to do that directly at Reply. You just simply go to the settings and change it to Google Gmail API, and that is going to work way better, like really.
So yeah, before we proceed, yeah, basically we analyzed all this email and then we just like, okay, we check both options, and on average, so we've noticed that result, like literally something between 10 to 15% on average, API works better for across all like user categories. Those ones who send like small amounts of cold outreach, those who send huge volumes of cold outreach. So like agencies, like SDR teams. So in all those segments, like in most cases, API works better. So our recommendation here, you just choose Gmail or Outlook API instead of SMTP, or even worse, like a custom SMTP like providers. So yeah, that's our suggestion here. Okay, I can go through this one.
Yeah.
So and then what we heard out there in like on LinkedIn from lots of cold outreach gurus that send something like 50 to 100 emails per inbox, and then I was like curious. Okay, let's check it out. Whether it's like a myth, or maybe we can bust this myth, or maybe it's gonna be a truth. And what we've noticed is that indeed, on average, users who send less emails, like per inbox per day, have better results in both in terms of open rates and reply rates. So of course, in terms of reply rates, it's obvious one, because when you have more opens, more people can open these emails and reply back. When you have like your emails in spam folder, again, no one replies back to you. So what we've noticed, that the best scenario for you is to send like less than 100 emails per inbox when it comes to like high volume cold outreach. Again, there are some exceptions. There are some inboxes, some users, cohorts, segments that still can send more than 100 cold emails per inbox per day, but again, it depends. So if you are like trying to set up your cold outreach, or if you have bad results and you already send like, I don't know, maybe 300 emails per inbox or 200 emails per inbox, and you have some issues with deliverability, just decrease this number. In reply, you can do it like easily, just go to email accounts, safety, total numbers of emails per day, and use something 70, 100, and then compare results. And maybe that's going to help you fix your deliverability right away, because again, data says that high volume cold outreach will generate you less opens and replies. Yeah.
Yes,
Next
and
data back inside.
yes, and one more thing is that I saw a few questions about the people who asked during this presentation, during this webinar, hey Ilya, hey Vlad, what is the best way to use the links in the cold emails? Is it safe to send the links, right, in the cold emails? And like how, like except unsubscribe link, of course. Is it safe to send any other link to my website, to my Calendly, to my you can book me meeting, etc., right? So those are the questions that I saw. And in reality, in order to, like, if you add just the link one time, it's a normal trusted domain, no questions to that. It's not something scammy or spammy, etc., everything will be fine. But when I say everything will be fine, what I mean is that you're gonna send the link, and like if it's not really something bad, everything will be good. But like you can either track those links or not. So whenever you want to track and see who clicked on those links, who engaged with those links, all the email providers are actually adding the extra redirect to that link. So whenever you click on that, firstly, you will go through their domain and then to the final destination. In this case, by default, if you are using the link tracking in all of your cold emails, all of your cold emails, even if you have different links in your follow-ups, in your main email, etc., they will all have the same domain. And usually this domain is like replies domain or someone else domain, etc. So usually this is the same domain for every single link tracking, right? A link tracking link. But right, so you tell me, hey, yeah, but like I'm using my own grossband.io email, and I'm sending links, and by default those links are using like are on reply.io or debate, right? Like link.reply.io or track.reply.io. Is it a good thing or bad? Usually I would say, yeah, it's not great. So it's better to brand those links. So what you can do, you can still track your links, and at the same time, by creating a new CNAME on your own domain, you can track all the links you add, and all the links you add will be with your own main domain, or like with the domain that you're adding. So probably it might sound really technical or too hard to do, but in reality, it's not. This is for us to show to Google and other email providers that the links that we are sending are not associated with something spammy, with some other people, etc. And you can see that back in the days, like based on the replies research, the emails with branded links got way higher open rate than links without branded links. This is a really huge highlight here. Like the difference is also huge. Of course, it's not the same as between SMTP and API when the deliverability difference is around 30%, but still here it's from 5 to 15%. And this will require you only like just 5 or 10 minutes to set it up. And you will avoid all the problems, and you will be still able to track your links. Yeah. Of course, we do have the another cool guide on how to do this. So yes, we're gonna we're gonna send to you after this webinar
Yeah.
the links.
It's a little bit technical, but again, bunch of ready to use step-by-step guides. So poll number 3, Let us know. Do you rely on multi-channel cold outreach? Yes or no? Because in terms of deliverability, definitely gonna change, I think. Or maybe let us know in the chat whether you are going to like maybe implement it because of these new changes. So again, yes or no?
Uh, yes,
Interesting.
please explain what
Yes.
random link again. So I will send you the guide. Okay. I was
Hmm.
like, we're gonna
Yes,
send you
yes, yes. Okay. Do you rely? Oh, already lots of people do this. Well, I guess we have a well-educated audience, and that's awesome. Wow, cool.
okay.
But don't track it. Okay, let's proceed because we have so many things to go through, and we still have like 10 minutes. We will go through your Q&A section questions in the end of the webinar because we have so many things to cover. So stay tuned, please, to the end. We will definitely answer pretty much everything you want. Maybe we'll already answer some of your questions. Okay, Ilya, B2B data and data quality.
Um, So yeah, I guess that the main thing is that when it comes to the cold emailing is basically the fact that you're sending like everything should be good with your technical setup, etc., etc. But one more thing, you always need to be relevant with your cold emails. And if you do everything correctly with your technical setup, with the markup, with SMTP, IMAP, with API, with branded links, with custom CNAMEs, etc., etc., so many technical details, so many great things. But at the end of the day, your emails are going to not relevant people, or your offer is not relevant at all. In reality, people will just say that it is a spam. So by default, what we suggest you is always try to use extra filtration, extra ways to figure out who should be the most ideal client to you. So please always try to find the most relevant people for your cold email outreach. Please don't be spammers. Because even if you do everything correctly from the technical perspective, if you're a spammer, you're gonna be a spammer, right? So that's the first thing, right? The second one, by using different tools, for example, clay.com, you can actually personalize with using AI your messages. So your cold emails will look different, will look personalized, will look relevant. And this is done for two reasons. The first one, you will actually get better results. So whenever you reach out to relevant people with the personalized icebreakers or personalized messages, you're gonna get way better results. People are going to reply to it. People are going to engage with it. People are gonna love it, and you're gonna get way more leads, right? That's the first reason. But the second one is basically the reason that a lot less people will mark those emails as spam because they feel that, okay, it's probably not relevant for me right now, but it is quite relevant for me. So I'm not going to mark this as a spam. So those two things, please always do that. Yeah, Vlad, could you please share a little bit more about your tool?
So yeah, when it comes, by the way, in my also experience, like 5 years ago, I was like huge on personalization, like huge. I was spending like, this chart, 90% AQ, just send cold emails, 100% AQ, just personalization, outbound, and like all those things, triggering intent database, and then IQ 120, like just send cold emails, but relevant ones. So the same for me, what I've noticed is like relevance is super important to cold outreach. It's more important than personalization. With personalization, it's super important. We will explain why, but relevancy, like targeted list building, like databases are super important. So with reply, you can do both. You can send cold emails and find relevant prospects using our extension Find It to search emails and be relevant. And yeah, and probably the last thing in terms of B2B databases, there are like what you can do here, if you don't trust your B2B data providers, if you don't trust your virtual assistants, if you purchase databases or old outdated databases, lists, CSV files somewhere in the internet, maybe back in 2022 or something, every year data is getting like B2B data is getting outdated by almost 30%, meaning people change job, they change their positions, they change their emails sometimes. And if you don't verify your list, you will have a huge bounce rate. When it comes to bounce rate, Google knows, okay, probably you're a spammer. Again, it's related to relevance. So what you need to do here, just when you upload your list to your cold outreach tools, just click this button, email verification, verify your emails, and remove invalid or like risky emails from your sequences, and always check your sequence bounce rate. That should be something between 1 to 3%. 3.5 is like still okay, but more than 5 gonna like harm your deliverability in long term. So that's suggesting. Anything to add here, Ilya?
No, the thing is that always verify email accounts, email addresses that you have, and whenever
Mhm.
that you want, even if you want to reuse the same emails, please use the um, um, every 2 to 3 months. Please always redo again and again.
Yeah.
So then copyright and optimization. Vlad,
Yep.
that you're the real master here.
Yeah, thanks. And the last part, and but not the least one. So what I've noticed that we should also focus on on this technical setup, database, and then our like messaging, meaning copywriting. So what we can optimize here. So first of all, avoid spam words at all costs. I guess we have to create data back inside on this as well. But what I noticed on my use case here, a few years ago, I just sent one email with word discount. And then boom, I noticed my average open rate is like 40% for this sequence. And then I like starting looking for like a solution. And then I noticed this issue and I removed my discount spam word. And then my open rate returned back to like 60 or 70%. So when you create new sequences, or maybe you copy and paste some templates or internet, or maybe you use ChatGPT for copywriting, just always check spam words and replies email assistant, and then remove these words, just rephrase your sentences. And when it comes to copywriting, nowadays, email providers can detect template emails. Like, even if you use a few variables like first name, company name, maybe industry, and that's it, but you still have long pieces, long chains of templated emails, like sentences, like call to actions, and so on. So to avoid being noticed as like a templated cold outreacher, just use Spintax. So meaning what you can do here, you just can randomize your cold emails, and you can make every cold email a little bit more unique, and you can just like avoid um, these filters that can identify you as someone who sends templated emails. Why? Because templated emails is something spammers send. They don't have time to personalize nothing. And like a quick piece of advice here, you can also randomize your sign-offs, like best regards, kind regards, best wishes, and so on. So the more random variables you have in your emails, the better. Typically, I use something from 5, maybe even to 10 sometimes, randomized variables in my cold emails, and it like really helps me. The same goes to signatures. What I've noticed, like lots of people use HTML heavy signatures. Please just avoid it when it comes to cold outreach, outbound sales, and use something simple like best regards, first name, last name, your title, and maybe a phone number or LinkedIn URL. That's it. Avoid those images, avoid this HTML like heavy emails, sorry, signatures. And when it comes to follow-ups, and it's a part of copywriting, what we've noticed that people just create maybe one cold email for every step. What you really need to do, you have to create like randomized emails with Spintax, and more importantly, create maybe 3, 4, 5 more variants for every step of your sequence. Why? Because again, to avoid being marked as someone who sends templated messages. And it goes to follow-ups as well. So the more you have those email copies, randomized things, the harder to detect you as a spammer. And my best suggestion here is to send maybe 4 emails within 4 weeks, like 2 threads only. And here's why: we have this backed by data. With every next cold email in your sequence, your average overall performance just goes down. So the more you send emails to those prospects, the less responses you get. So instead of sending additional follow-ups, maybe step 5, 6, 7, just add more prospects and you will have like better overall reply rate. Again, it depends on your segment, your total addressable market, all the things. Maybe you don't have enough leads. in the world for your specific industry, company, and so on. But what we've noticed, maybe something between 4 to 5 emails is a perfect sequence. Then you can combine additional channels like LinkedIn, phone calls, and make these 10 to 15 step sequences in total.
And
Yeah.
sorry if I mentioned that the previous one was extremely important thing because you always like the one with the graph. Yeah. You remember like all of those graphs when you have to send 11, 21 follow-ups to generate leads, etc., etc. You remember that the half of the leads that you're getting are coming from the follow-ups. And this is true, but it's partially true because the half of those leads are coming from the first 2 to 3 follow-ups, and the rest after that people are not replying to you. So this is a really valid point. Just always try to think how you want to maximize because you're limited with the amount of the cold emails that you can send. You cannot send billions of emails. So try to understand who you want to exactly reach out. And this graph shows that in the ideal world, it's way better to try to send one email with 3 follow-ups and after that try to reach out to new people. And this is obvious as it is, and the data shows that, even though this data is not the same as it was 5 or 8 years ago when we all remember this, like 21 follow-ups, 20,
Yeah.
etc.
That's nonsense. I think more importantly, like 5 years ago, you could send 400 cold emails with one inbox. So now we still can do this maybe for inbound use cases, partnership stuff. But when it comes to cold B2B outbound sales, like you can't send that many follow-ups anymore. Why? Because you're limited with your email sending volume. So it's better to focus on new leads if it's possible, of course, based on your market and so on. So just suggestions out there. And what also makes sense and is super important, just to send emails within business hours. So what you can do here at Reply, when you import your contacts via CSV file, just add 2 more fields like company or prospect, city, country, then just the tech company's prospect's time zone. And when you create a schedule, use a setting called use contact specific time zone. So what happens here, we will send emails based on prospect time zone, not your own time zone. So, and it's obvious one. Why? Because it's morning their time. And what's the first things they do when they open their laptop? They check their email. Because when you send emails in the evening, more likely they will never open this email. So my suggestion here, want to improve your deliverability, open rates, and so on, just send your emails within prospects time zone and time zones. So all right, so we have way more suggestions, tips there. So we will share the link for this email deliverability guide. You will have a step-by-step guide on how to achieve like huge open rates, even more data-backed insights, a list of useful tools to monitor deliverability, a list of deliverability benchmarks and metrics, so you can like have something for improvement, and then our checklist, something that you can fix, check your health of your deliverability, and then just with additional resources there. And a bonus here, Reply is celebrating 10 years this month. Like it's almost 10 years when we wrote the first line of code. So we are giving away 10% off on monthly deals and 40% off annual deals. So feel free to use these coupon codes and enjoy your discount with Reply. So plus we have some interesting discounts with our partners, so you can check them out as well. So yeah, we will share everything as a link in the chat, maybe after our Q&A session. So what do you think? Yeah.
Yeah, so after this webinar, we're going to send you all the links, and in your email, please double check that. Again, please reach out to us and connect with us on LinkedIn. So we are going to be connected, and you can ask any questions directly if you have any. Thanks a lot, Jaroslav. I do see people are like, thanks a lot, Lily. We do have like some questions. I saw that there are so many questions in the chat, but let's go through the questions firstly
Q&A.
that are in the Q&A section. So the first question is, if the image is in the signature. I guess we replied to that already. It's better not to have images in the signatures when it comes to the cold emailing. Whenever it comes to your normal one-on-one conversation with your leads in the negotiation process, etc., etc., it's fine. Use your signatures. When it comes to the cold email outreach, it's better not to, right?
Exactly. Yeah, agree. Does email software like HubSpot, do they track the opens by the same pixel? They all use the same logic. They, all tools like mail trackers, cold outreach tools, CRM. So when you track opens, it's the same, pretty much the same as for now. Maybe there's gonna something change in the future because of these updates, but currently they pretty much, I think, use the same technology.
Yes. Then the next question is, do adding attachments to emails trigger spam, like PDF one page with info on my company? Yes. If people did not reply to you, of course, your email would be considered as spam whenever you send PDFs, attachments, etc., because this is exactly what spammers did back in the days. They sent some weird, pretty weird files, scammy things, etc. So Google is way more concerned about you sending documents, files, zip files, etc., in your cold emails. So the best case scenario, it's always, please try to get a reply for that person, and then if they are okay, send them the extra information as a PDF. So next question is, what can you please handle that?
Uh, mhm. Does email tracking also apply to enterprise Outlook clients? Well, as I know, Outlook is like has been removing these pixels and images for their enterprise clients for a longer period of times. And what we've noticed on average, open rates historically to Outlook customers is like prospects is lower. Why? Because they have better security measurements. Why? Because Outlook users typically enterprise and big organizations, so they have some like better spam filters, so it's harder to reach out to Outlook users. But again, I guess it's a little bit different. Outlook is removing a pixel, but they don't show this banner report spam. So that's an issue actually with Gmail, because you still can track opens, was that what we said with Ilya, but it's easier for prospect to click this button, report spam. And what we haven't mentioned that Google has a new policy. Your domain's user reported spam rate should be 0.3%. By the way, you can track it with reply, just connect your Google Postmaster account. And then what you have to do, you have to track your domain user reported spam rate. It's huge. It's like an issue for Google. So having these images like makes easier to report you as a spammer. So that's an issue.
Yes, and I'm replying to a lot of people by text. So there's one more question. Do Google Meet appointments, scheduling links affect deliverability? Yes, it does. Why? Because if you track your links, the Google Meeting link in your cold email will look like the weird domain, like for example, like track.reply.ir, blah blah blah, and so on and so forth, because you want to track the links. If you disable link tracking, it will look the same, and for Google it's gonna look like, okay, it's normal link, no worries about that. And that's one case. But if you still want to keep the balance between, okay, I know what are the links, or how many people who exactly clicked on what links, at the same time, I want to have a nice deliverability, please set up the branded links. This means that the link would, like, technically in the code, the link will look like your domain, your like track.yourdomain.com, for example, etc. So yeah, that's the answer. The next question is for you.
Han asks, does this mean that we can include text, links, and attachments only in an email? Technically, yes. So, well, you can use like LinkedIn in your signature. I think it's going to be okay if you disable link tracking. So there is no need, I guess, to track links in your signature. So yeah, links in signature is still fine, I guess. To your LinkedIn maybe, because I guess it's quite typical use case, and I guess Google understands that you have a link in your signature because lots of people do that. But I don't have data on this. Great question. I should check it out. Bunch of great questions, so we need to dig deeper into data again to answer all of them. The next one for you, yeah.
Yes. Then look, I guess I'm not going to talk about the A/B test. I guess you're the best when it comes to the A/B test.
Okay, so how do you A/B test subject lines without open rate? Easy peasy. So just create the same text for your cold email, like template of cold email, and then just change your subject line. And if you get better like open rate reply rate in variant A, so this subject line is quite better. Why? Because it drives more engagement. If you still have the same email copy, right? So that's the issue. That's the way you can track it. Overall, we also have a report on subject lines, so feel free to check out our blog. Just search for subject lines, and we have data-backed insights on subject lines. So there are a bunch of things like length, wording, uh, additional digits, and like numbers, and so we have data-backed insight on that as well. Does MailTorso remap Microsoft emails? Yes, we do that.
Yes, then without open track, this is the same question. Thanks for you for your support. Oh, thanks a lot. Can you send the presentation? Yes, we're gonna send the presentation. Then the next question is how does reply that you understand the recipient's email provider, Gmail or Microsoft? I know that there is a functionality to figure out the MX record of any single domain. So reply just feels like he's using the same technology to figure out who's using what, right? What? Yes.
Sorry, I was going through Q&A
Yeah,
sessions.
so all good. So there
Yeah,
is
sorry.
standard techniques to figure out what is the email provider, the main email provider for each
Oh,
of
yeah.
us.
So
So this is a normal, yeah.
with reply, what you can do here, we automatically detect those MX records for you. So when you go to contacts, and then we have like a column called provider. So what you can do here, you just can easily filter your prospects by this field, like field provider, like sorry, oops, provider is Gmail, G Suite, and just push them to a separate sequence, or Outlook to another one. So you can do this at reply at scale. So just when you upload a prospect, we already know the provider for you. And then what you can do also here, just go to your reports, emails, and filters. Oops, filters and check your contact email provider, and then you can check reply rates by provider as well. So meaning it could be helpful for like testing your deliverability stuff.
Yeah, I do have the question about the domains. Yes, we do have the guide about the domains and how to set it up. So I'll put it like as
Yeah,
well. Send to
in
you.
terms of domains, you can check everything
Uh,
in the guide.
yeah, then so this is the question: how you guys track that sending email without open tracking have a better open rate? That was the that's a great
What's
question. Yeah.
That was reply rate. So when it comes to open tracking, what we've noticed here that users who do not track opens, they have better reply rate, not open rate. So like almost 2x more on average, like maybe something 1.5 to 2x more replies on average. Like if average open rate reply rate for a tracked email is like 2%, for the users who don't track opens, it could be like 4%, like instantly almost 2x more replies. So that's what we've noticed. Again, it could be like user pattern because of their knowledge, but maybe it's targeting its own different things. But on average, disabled open tracking is like better.
Yes, I guess that I do see a lot of more questions, but we're already out of time. So let's answer on two more questions, and that's basically it.
Ooh,
Um,
yeah.
so let's choose two more questions and then answer that. If you have guys more questions, you can always reach out to us on our LinkedIn's, etc., etc. We're gonna help you with that. So is that we yes
Okay, yeah, I will send
yes,
the
we're gonna
link to
send
the.
oh, sorry, that was the question. We're gonna send all the materials after this webinar. So, like, please check out your inbox today or tomorrow. So, no worries. You
And yeah, feel free to connect with us on social media. I will be more than happy to answer your questions, and probably with Leah. And as always, as always. Thank you for your time and for your questions.
Yes, awesome. Thanks a lot, guys. And please, let's keep in touch. Let's connect. And thanks a lot. And have a nice day. Bye bye.
Bye, everyone. Take care. Bye.